One of Trisha's more recent claims is that there was a time in her life where she was homeless. However, as you'll hear throughout this video, the circumstances and timing of this alleged era frequently changes. She claims it happened when she was 18 in 2006, but that then changes to it happening in 2008. She also claims she had nowhere to live, but then states she was living with a boyfriend. Take a listen to the changes this story goes through.
I've been homeless. I've lived in my car. But like, yeah, in the past, like, I did sleep on the street, literally on the street for maybe 2 weeks. I was able to finally get my car. It was towed, and I was finally able to get out towing, and then I lived in that for like 2 weeks, and then I was able to get a place. Like, I stayed with a friend then after that for a while, and then I got my own place. So like, it was really scary. And like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, if you guys go back to my old videos, like, yes, I lived in this like really shitty apartment that had no doorknob for a while, and then like there was like a lull. There was maybe like a 3-month lull, and that was the 3 months that like I was homeless. I was on the street. I was living in my car. I was like 18, and during that time I was literally homeless. Like, I had a place to stay, but it wasn't mine. When this was all going on in like 2008, I couldn't care less, because like literally was just, you know, just getting high every day, like wondering if I was gonna like have a bed to sleep in. Because like 2006, when Black Parade was out, I was on the street. I didn't have a phone, I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I don't really know. 33 years old, so I was definitely in the era of MCR, but during their Black Parade and Danger Days album, like, I was just on the streets, if you know what I mean, like literally on the streets.
Something worth noting here is that she claims she was on the streets for both Black Parade and Danger Days. While Black Parade did come out in 2006, Danger Days was not released until 2010. So we've now gone from hearing that she was once homeless in 2006, 2008 and 2010. Even though she only claims to have been homeless once in her life. We now have 3 different years for when it happened.
Those were the only songs I knew, and then unbeknownst to me, they had like a whole like Black Parade era, which I didn't know about. I was on the streets, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So I was so far removed from anything that happened between 2006 and 2010. Like, I didn't have internet. Like, I did have internet, but I wasn't like on it. I didn't consume anything. I didn't like, I would upload videos. You would see my apartment looked like a little just shack, basically.
In that last clip, you can hear that she's now stretched out the time of her being homeless from 3 months to essentially 4 years. Although while she claims she was homeless, she still states she had an apartment and internet. What's interesting about this is that in her most recent telling of this homeless story, she admits that she always had a place, she just chose to sleep in her car a few times.
That was Black Parade, and that was Danger Days, and like those are 2 albums that like I was not coherent when they came out, because I was out of it. Even Twilight and stuff, when that all came out, I was just so messed up on drugs, and so like literally sleeping on mattresses in an alley, like, swear, like I was on like, and it didn't happen often that I like slept in my car, because there was also like, I also had an apartment. It just didn't have a doorknob, so I kind of felt like sketch about sleeping there, but like Superman was next to me.
What we know is that when Trisha moved to California, she lived with her rich father. She then stated that at 18 she had a boyfriend who she lived with. She then got her own place. Trisha was never homeless. She seems to be using the term in the loosest sense of its meaning. She lived with her father and boyfriend, so technically those weren't her own homes. However, she did have her own apartment fairly quickly after leaving both of those situations, as she states herself. She goes from saying she was homeless for 2 weeks to then saying it was 3 months to then implying it was for 4 years. The truth is that Trisha Paytas never had to struggle a day in her life. By her own admission, her father was a very wealthy man and her mother gave her all of her money to support herself. She was spoiled by her parents and given everything she ever wanted. She was never out on the streets homeless. Additionally, she claims that she had no internet during these years, but she started her Twitter in 2009 and posted frequently throughout 2009 and 2010. She also joined YouTube in 2007 and started regularly posting in 2008. Her story does not make sense because it is just that, a story. How is it that she can claim to be homeless without internet when she's very clearly filming her videos in a home? By her own admission, her own apartment. And if she didn't have internet, how was she constantly tweeting every day from 2009 to 2010?